we can see which way the wind is blowing. Meghan Markle's days in the spotlight appear numbered, and it looks as though the union between Harry and his bride may be coming to an end as well. So who will emerge the victor when all is said and done? Greetings and a warm welcome to you. Over the past several weeks, the question on everyone's mind regarding Harry and Meghan is, where are they now? And what might the erstwhile royal pair be up to these days? It's quite uncharacteristic of them both to be so uncharacteristically silent and removed from public view. With Harry and Meghan, it's hard to discern what is truly going on, because we can't entirely trust the information that's out there about the two of them presently. Half of it seems to be fluff pieces lauding them as utterly amazing, while the other half are hit pieces slamming them as a couple of hypocrites. There's always so much conjecture surrounding the pair's current circumstances and state of affairs. It takes significant effort to sift through the nonsense and attempts to assemble an accurate picture of what is actually happening in their lives. When it comes to Harry and his spouse, we can't take anything at face value anymore. We really have to read between the lines now. Ever since Harry and Meghan first got together back in 2016 and then married in 2018, many have predicted this partnership would not go the distance. And there were solid reasons for that pessimistic outlook. I mean, first of all, they really rushed into matrimony. They hardly knew each other when they took their vows. Another issue with their match is that they come from such vastly different backgrounds and life experiences. Meghan Markle grew up in LA, and Harry grew up as a member of the royal family, a prince even. So it's a lot of different things. Thanks to her father's hard work, Meghan did grow up upper middle class, and so her father was able to spoil her rotten. Now, Harry certainly grew up upper class, the most uppermost of classes, I would argue, and he was also spoiled rotten, so at least they have that in common. But still, Meghan came from a world where basically she could dictate everything, where she got whatever she wanted. She was the boss of her household. Harry, not so much. Harry grew up in a world where there were rules, there were traditions, there was protocol to be adhered to. Growing up, Harry certainly did not have the freedom to dictate who and what he was going to be like Meghan could. And I suspect that was part of what attracted Harry to Meghan. He saw Meghan as this bold, independent thinker, somebody who didn't care what anybody else thought of her. Of course, the truth couldn't be more different, but Harry was convinced. But see, a big problem with this relationship is that it was never based on anything real, anything solid. As long as things were good with Harry and Meghan, of course, they were going to stay together. They were going to revel in their riches and pat themselves on the back for leaving the family. But things have not worked out well for them in America. They have failed over and over again. And now this sloppily constructed house of cards is collapsing all around them. So what does this mean exactly for their marriage? Honestly, I don't believe there is any way they're going to come out of this together. So we're getting all these reports about Harry and Meghan being on increasingly divergent paths. And I think that we do need to read between the lines and understand that we should expect a divorce announcement to come soon. Okay, so we got one article in the Mirror. Prince Harry mingles with new Hollywood pals as he's pictured without wife Meghan Markle. Do you remember it wasn't long ago that the two of them went everywhere together? I mean, anytime we saw Harry, we would see Meghan there either digging her fingernails into his arm or with a hand on his back to guide him. But in 2023, all of that changed. The first thing we need to know is that Harry and Meghan are not together. The second thing we need to remember about Meghan Markle is that she is a malignant narcissist. She's not somebody who's going to stand by her man. I mean, come on. When the going gets tough, Meghan's going to get going. And I believe that is exactly what we're seeing here. But see, the funny thing is, Meghan has been trying to set all of this up so that Harry would be the fall guy and she could walk away unscathed and still make a career for herself. But it looks like the exact opposite is happening. So first of all, let's talk about this photo, or these photos rather, of Harry and Meghan. And these stars from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So actually, these photos were taken way back in September, but they're just now making the rounds on Instagram. So we got to ask why. Well, first of all, we need to think about what question is being prompted by these photos. Everybody now is asking, where is Meghan? For months, Meghan has been trying to distance herself from Harry, but it looks like Harry is doing the same thing to her. According to the Mirror, the image was taken at a football match between Inter Miami CF and Los Angeles at the FC BMO Stadium in LA, where Harry was amongst a list of famous faces, including people like Leo DiCaprio, Owen Wilson, Jason Sudeikis, and Selena Gomez. Now, typically, this is the kind of crowd that Meghan is desperate to get involved with. Now, usually it is Meghan who's so desperate to ingratiate herself with celebrities. So pretty interesting that Harry was hanging out with A-listers and she was nowhere to be seen. So another thing that is going on right now that we've got to talk about is that, apparently, Meghan Markle has already been dropped by WAE. Now, WAE has not announced this, and of course, Meghan hasn't either, but if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Why would they announce that? Instead, it is much more likely that they would just quietly drop her without saying anything. So as reported in the Daily Express, many people have noticed that Meghan's name is nowhere to be found on WAE's website. But her profile does still show up on the Harry Walker Agency's website. Now, that's the one that Harry and Meghan signed in 2020, and the Harry Walker Agency specializes in speaking engagements. Of course, the Harry Walker Agency hasn't been able to get work for either of them in quite some time. But that's neither here nor there. This is something Angela Levin has picked up on too. She said, Meghan's name is not on her new agent William Morris website. Could she have been dropped quietly? And a fan led the speculation with a tweet that read, has WAE really dropped Meghan Markle? She is nowhere to be found on their website. And there are several references to them dropping her on Quora and Reddit. If WAE quietly dropped her, how would we know? I don't know if you can hear, but this news is very exciting to my cat, apparently. Be quiet. Anyway, so continuing on, I really do believe that they're laying everything out for us right now. I mean, they're telling us without telling us that Meghan and Harry are done relationship-wise. Their careers have been on increasingly separate paths. That is something we have noticed over the past year, and make no mistake, a divorce between those two is going to be a very long, drawn-out process. It's going to be complicated. I mean, there's so much involved here. We got money involved. We got the house. And also, they were married in the UK, and now they live in California. I imagine that's not going to make this process any simpler. And then what about the invisible children? I mean, okay, if they're real, they've got to figure out custody for those kids. If they're not real, then they have a bigger problem because they have to explain how on earth this happened. Another thing that is becoming very clear to me is that Meghan Markle is going to be the big loser in this whole situation. I mean, she really thought that she could swindle the British royal family. That woman is so delusional, so entitled, so completely off her rocker, a megalomaniac. Meghan is going to find out sooner rather than later, I predict, that the royal family is not to be messed with. They have pockets that go deeper than anything she could possibly imagine. They're going to get the most powerful lawyers they can find to fight tooth and nail to make sure that Harry gets what is his. In the end, you know, the royal family is going to do everything they can to protect Harry because Harry is one of them. Meghan Markle is an outsider, and I do believe the royal family is absolutely going to take him back. I suspect he's going to have to go into rehab for a while, and I don't know if he's ever going to be able to resume royal duties. But at the same time, that's probably fine with him. I think he never really liked the work that much anyway. Instead, he's going to be another Prince Andrew. He's going to get to live off the royal teat, and he's not going to have to do any work. He's going to get to reside in a palace. He's going to have everything taken care of, and all he has to worry about is not getting into trouble. And what's going to happen to Meghan Markle? Well, I think that you know what's going to happen to her. She's going to be a nobody. She has ruined her reputation. She has made a fool of herself. She has proven herself to be a hypocrite, a liar, difficult to work with, a diva, demanding. I mean, at this point in time, she has no hope whatsoever. I don't know what is going to become of her, but you know what? I also don't care. That woman deserves everything she has coming to her. And if she ends up homeless, living on Skid Row, then serves her right. And you, what do you think about all these signs? Do we really think the relationship of Harry and Meghan is coming to an end? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give it a like and share it with others who may find it interesting. And if you enjoy our content, I hope you'll subscribe so you don't miss any future updates. Thank you sincerely for watching today. I appreciate your viewership and support so much. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and a wonderful start to 2024. Happy New Year! Wishing you all the best in health, happiness, and prosperity in the year ahead. Looking forward to bringing you more great content in 2024.